and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a first impressions review on this new foundation. This is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation, and I think this has been out for maybe a couple of months now or a couple of weeks, I'm not quite sure, but I will be testing this out and seeing how it wears throughout the day. I just put it on, so if you are interested in seeing how it works, if it lives up to what it claims, then I'll have the results at the end of this video. But before I start, I'll also be testing out the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Powder. I'm not really sure if these are supposed to go together because I think this has been out for a long time now, but I just wanted to test it out anyway and see how they work and if they are a good match for each other. I have mine in the shade Natural Beige, and it was a pretty good shade for me, and then I also have the Natural Beige in the powder as well. So I'm going to go ahead and read the claims that the foundation has. This is from their website. So it says, it is a lightweight yet high impact coverage formula that glides onto the skin for a flawless makeup finish that lasts all day. Oil free and doesn't clog pores. So I do have oily combination skin. I have a couple of dry patches, but throughout the day I do get very oily. We'll see how it works, and if you guys want to see the results, then like I said, just watch till the end of the video. So obviously we're going to start moisturizing the face. Today I'll just be using my Laneige Moisture Cream. Usually I like to use my Nivea Post Shave Balm, but that actually works as a primer as well because it makes my skin really smooth and everything, and I feel like that would be cheating for this review, so I'm not going to do that today. And then of course I'm just going to use my eye cream as well. This is just the Clinique All About Eyes. You okay? Now that we're waiting for that to dry, I am going to use primer today just because I always use primer no matter what. I think it's really important to use it before applying foundation. To be fair, I will probably just apply it to the places that I really need it, so just my forehead, just my T-zone pretty much. So this is just the Milani Prime Shield. I'm running out of it, but it is a silicone based primer and it doesn't really do much like oil control or anything like that. It just gives my face a smooth base to work with. So finally, moving on to the foundation, we will be using the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation. I think today on half of my face I'll be using a sponge, and then the other side I'll be using a brush. The shade that I got is in Natural Beige, and this is what the color looks like. So the foundation is pretty sleek. It's just in your regular glass bottle that most Maybelline foundations come in. It does come with a pump, which is really handy. I didn't know that while opening the foundation, so I was kind of like twisting the cap off. I didn't realize I was messing with the pump, so hopefully I didn't break it or anything. And I think we're going to first start off with a brush and see how that goes. And I'll just be using a Morphe M439. Ooh. So I think this is a really good shade for me. And right off the bat, it's giving me like super full coverage. I usually don't like using brushes for foundation anymore. I always use a sponge just because I feel like I don't really need full coverage when it comes to my skin. So I'm probably gonna pat this in just a little bit with the sponge depending on how it dries. But right now you can see it's definitely medium to full coverage. So I don't really have any acne or anything like that, but I do have some redness, especially like around my nose and my mouth area. And the foundation is covering it up like really well. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we are finished with the side with the brush, and it looks really good. It does look like a pretty good color match to me as well. Okay, so we're going to try it with the sponge now, and today I'll just be using my Maybelline sponge, which I really like, and see how that goes. Now the sponges, of course, you usually don't get as full coverage as you do with a brush, which is why I really like sponges, because I don't need that full coverage, but we'll see how much it covers anyway. The coverage is still there, but compared to the brush, it is very, like, not as heavy. I think I do prefer the sponge over the brush, like usual. I'm going to zoom you in really close so you can see the redness that I have around my nose, and then we're going to try and cover that up. Alright, so we are done applying the foundation. This is the side that we used with the brush, and then we have the side with the sponge. Now I definitely prefer the sponge over the brush. That's usually how I am with all foundations, just because I like having more of like a light to medium coverage with my foundations rather than a very full and heavy coverage, which is this side. But all in all, both sides look really good. It covered up all of my redness and it doesn't look cakey. It looks nice, but I think I'm just going to go in with my sponge and just pat in the foundation on the brush side just so it evens out just a little bit. Okay, so I just applied concealer to my under eyes. Moving on, we're going to try the Superstay Better Skin powder, and I got the shade Natural Beige, which I think is the same shade as the foundation. So this is the packaging. I really like the blue, it matches my nails. But I am not really a fan of the inside. It comes with a mirror, and then the other side is the powder and this little sponge. So I feel like it just wastes a lot of room. You could definitely like use the whole thing for powder, but they just chose to use this little square, so I don't like that. But the powder looks like it'll be a good shade for me. Ooh, I like this. It's not really giving me that powdery finish. It's not making my foundation look even more cakey or anything. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up putting powder underneath my eyes and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back. So I'm done with the rest of my makeup, and this is how the foundation is looking now. It didn't seem to oxidize, which is a plus. It's really good, and the powder is really nice too. It's giving me a nice kind of like airbrushed look, which I really like. It doesn't look too powdery or too cakey, and I'm loving it so far. So it says it's supposed to stay on for 24 hours. I'm definitely not going to keep it on for that long, but I'll try to keep it on for as long as possible today, and I'll check back to see how the foundation works. I don't see any creasing or anything. I usually get some creasing like in this area right here between my nose. But everything looks good so far. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on with my day and check back with you guys in a couple hours. Hey guys, it's currently 6:16, so it's been about 4 hours since I last saw you guys, and this is how the foundation has held up. I am definitely getting really oily in my forehead, but mostly like in my, like by my nose and on my chin. I'm pretty oily, but other than that, it is holding up pretty well. I don't see any creasing, so it still looks good. I think I'm just going to reapply some powder. Looks pretty good again. So I'll check back with you guys in a couple hours. Hey guys, so excuse my constant wardrobe change. I'm just in my PJs, but it is currently, come on Lace, really? 8:45, so it's been almost 3 hours since my last update, and a total of almost 7 hours I've been wearing this foundation, and I think so far it has held up pretty well. So the final verdict is I do see some oil again peeking through, especially on my nose, but that's like totally normal for me. That's what usually happens with any foundation that I use, no matter what. On my forehead, it actually doesn't look as oily as it was before, because we did reapply the powder earlier, so I think that helped. And then like my cheeks right here are kind of oily. But other than that, I don't see any creasing whatsoever. The foundation looks like it's still intact, and it actually looks really good. Everything looks smooth. I don't see any of my redness peeking through. So it looks like it stayed put, didn't move anywhere, and it looks really good. I took off my eyelashes, by the way, because they were bugging me. But I would definitely give these a thumbs up. I do really like them so far. I think these two go hand in hand together and they work really well. So if you can, I do recommend getting both. I definitely will repurchase the powder. I think the powder I like a little bit more than the foundation, just because it gives my face a nice airbrushed look and it's not too powdery. But that is it for this first impression review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to check out and review and do a first impression on. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!